What up, VolleyON community? Marie Zidek here, DePaul University Volleyball, women's head coach. Going to chat with you a little bit tonight about what makes a great setter from just an average setter. There are a couple of concepts that we're going to go over, and I'm going to kind of go over them kind of quickly. So for all you younger setters out there, for those who are 10, 11, and 12, you guys and gals are just working on repeatability, strength, accuracy. As you start getting into the high school years, you're learning how to run a little bit higher level difficulty sets, middle quick balls, maybe some slides, maybe some combination plays. And as you get older, it becomes really imperative and important that you start thinking about strategy. Why and how are you making decisions? And for those decisions, you're going to need to have a higher level of tools in your toolbox to execute those higher level of sets. And we're going to go over kind of what that looks like at the highest level. So for those of you who are younger out there, strap in. This is what you're building up for. This is what all those reps in the gym are leading to. And for those of you that are in high school, college, maybe looking to play on professionally, here are some high-level concepts for you to bite off and gnaw on here. Setting long distance, really important. Again, your goal is to put your hitter in position to score at all times. And you can help that by getting your opponent block a little bit off rhythm. So in this situation, you can see all my blockers on the other side of the net have to stay neutral, because that setter could drop off the short distance set here to the right side. So that forces this middle to have to stay home. She can't bunch over on this side of the court. What it does is it opens up, okay, your right side and your outside. This person has to stay neutral. This setter proves that she can send the ball long distance, requiring a big dynamic move for that middle blocker. Starting matches like this is actually really smart, because you want to tell your opponent block that, hey, I'm not just going to take the easy out. I'm going to be able to set this ball 25, 30 feet. So you have to stay neutral and respect my ability to go both ways. And what that's going to do middle in matches and late in matches is it's going to end up opening your same side attack. So this is a really cool long distance set here. Really elite level setters. I know this is an oxymoron. They're not always the hero. They understand when to call for help. And in situations when the ball is just closer to one player versus them, okay? Or in this situation, the ball is second tempo. It's flowing off the table, okay? It makes more sense for the lib, who has more time because she's closer to the ball, to put herself in a pretty successful body posture to protect the integrity of that second contact, to put her hitter in position to terminate. So really elite level setters have that trust in their teammates that when they call help and when they pursue balls. So really trying to differentiate that from yourself. Obviously, you always want to make sure you elevate contacts and that you chase down balls and you show your team you're going to have good hustle. We'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, the passes or the digs that migrate the setter outside of the 10-foot box, all right? And this is not a ball that is around the 10-foot box, all right? This is a ball that's migrated outside of the 10-foot box that's usually far away from where that setter wants to set it. Total squaring of the chest, okay, and the hands and the body, and really protecting that ability for that hitter to migrate towards the net. So this is a technique we use in our gym. It's a technique that you can see at a lot of different levels, a lot of different countries, a lot of different setters. Totally squaring when that ball is way outside, when that pass is way outside of the 10-foot box. That setter is totally squaring her back and or her chest to the side of the court that she wants to set it to. Why do we use this technique? Well, at the end of the day, it's most important that you protect your hitter's opportunity to terminate, which means you have to put this ball in a really, really, really good location. Okay, so no longer is it about tempo or deception. It is about getting this hitter in prime time real estate to take a really good crack at the ball. All right, this setter does this really well, and the team ends up getting a nice kill off out of it. Here, same thing. All right, nice job. All right, second tempo passing. Really average setters will bump set these passes. Really good to great setters will get their hands on these passes. And I'm not talking about the ball that's past at your knee pad, right? I'm talking about the ball that's kind of past at your collarbone level. Collarbone level, chin level, just requires a little extra work getting your feet set to get yourself in an upright posture. What that does is it allows you to get your hands on the ball, protects the integrity of the set, allows the hitter to come in and converge on the angle, converge on that ball. You basically give that hitter an opportunity to create for you, an opportunity to score. Especially important when you're in the front row, right? Allows you to get leverage on tight balls, okay? So protecting those long body lines, especially when you're in the front row and you're jousting, offers you an opportunity to play extend and or get that joust. As soon as you start leaning or reaching outside your body line, you give all that leverage to the opponent blocker and or the ref, who's going to call you over if you're in the back row. But if you're in the front row, certainly want to get that leverage. reversing the flow is really important, especially in transition. Okay, so basically it's taking the ball that's passed and the flow of the play is taking everybody towards one half of the court, and it's being able to take that ball and send it against the grain or against the flow. I know we chatted about this a little bit when we talked about long distance setting, but reversing the flow is primarily used in transition. And it's really, really good in transition. So if that dig is migrating the setter towards your outside hitter, you are running for that ball, you got your hands ready, boom, kicking that ball back. What it does is it catches the block a little bit off balance, a little bit hugging that half, and it forces them to have to make an emergency move back, which usually creates a nice opportunity for hitters to score. Elevating the play. Favorite quality of being a setter is being able to take a second tempo pass or an imperfect pass and making it better. All right. So again, this isn't the situation. This is different than the situation we talked about earlier when we talked about calling help. In this situation, there's no one to call help to. And as setters, hey, if you can get to the ball, this ball's left side of the court. Yeah, she could call help. She could call help for her right side. But then, you know, they're taking away an opportunity potentially to put a hitter in position to terminate. All right, so this setter gets here. She gets her hands set. She gives a little flick of the wrist, migrates that hitter towards the net, allows her hitter to create for her, and scores. This is an awesome play here. This is a ball that probably should have been either aced or free balled over the net and rammed down their throat. And instead, you get a nice sacrifice by that setter of her body to not only sacrifice to play the ball up, but also to put some touch on it, to put some purposeful location on that ball. I mean, if I froze this frame and you didn't know what happened, odds are you would think that this setter set this ball from a perfect spot. She didn't. She's on the ground. She's rolling around in a log formation, and yet this hitter has an ultimate chance to kill the ball. That's really good. That's a mentality, setters. That has little to do with technique. That's a mentality. Using the middle to draw, okay, you can see the focus here by the opponent middle blocker on this middle. So what the setter does is she puts two hitters, actually three hitters if you count the pipe, in one half of the court, which basically forces two blockers to stay to that half, which isolates this one blocker against the setter herself and also this right side. Nice high-level strategy play to use, but there's a key to that. You have to have established your middle in order for the opponent middle blocker to honor her, right? You can't just use your middle as a draw the whole match. So running your middle early and often, establishing your middle early on in the match, not allowing your middle to go through the 3 rotations without getting set, really, really important for younger setters to understand. And as you get older, then you can start using your middle as a little bit of a pawn, a little bit of a chess piece to open up someone else, all right? But you have to continue to reestablish your middle as the set goes on. Okay, overloading one side. This is a nice play. She overloads one side with that same concept that we talked about earlier, where we had the 2 hitters on, or the 3 hitters on one half of the court. Only this time the setter chooses to set into the overload. So she uses the middle to draw on the one ball. She back sets right over the top on the red here, gets a nice swing out of the right side. All right, left side makes a nice block move. She gets another opportunity, reverses the flow back to her, gets a nice kill. All right, so that's a situation where the play was set up to use the middle to draw, but instead of setting away from where that middle was played, she used that middle to draw and set right over the top of it. Got a nice opportunity. And then the next accession was reversing the flow back to that right side, which caught that middle blocker a little bit off balance, catches the defense a little bit off balance, and that hitter had a nice opportunity to score here. Okay, repeating. Setters, you want to build some chemistry with your hitters. Learn to repeat. All right, so we get a nice slide, almost turns a kill for this team here on the far side. They get a free ball back. What does the setter do? Nuh-uh, I believe in you. Go take another whack at it. Man, this kid just wails on this ball. Absolute wailing. The other side barely keeps it alive again. All right, setter takes the out here, sets to the outside. They get the point. All right, but even though the middle didn't score that, the fact that the setter repeated to her told her, hey, I trust you. I know you didn't get a kill the first time, but I trust that you're going to get it again. Really important time for setters to think about repeating as well as when their hitters get stuff blocked, okay, or make an error. You really want to find a way to get a hitter another opportunity pretty quickly thereafter. It doesn't have to be the next ball. It can be, but you really want to think about getting that hitter another opportunity to work their way out. And that's going to show them that you have confidence in them. Then lastly, setters, play some defense. All right, there's nothing more momentous when a setter digs a ball and second ball set comes in, hitter throttles. There's nothing more demoralizing to a team that when that happens, for sure. So make sure that that you consider yourself a well-rounded volleyball player, serving, setting, defense, huge moves. But hope you enjoyed that. Just some concepts to be looking forward to as you get older, and the style of play gets more aggressive. The players get more physical. But those of you out there just working on accuracy, continue to get your reps in. Setting takes a long time to get good at. Hope you learned something tonight. Enjoyed being with you. VolleyON together. Stay safe, and we'll see you soon. Take care.